Hi everyone, Aiden here with etrailer.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Inno Roof Rack kit for raised rails here on our 2021 Toyota 4Runner. Now you've got a couple different styles for roof racks. You've got your square or round bar, you've got your flush mounted ones, and you've got this one that has the overhang. Personally, I like having a bit of crossbar overhang. I think it kind of looks a little bit better personally, but you also get some good functionality with it. It gives you a little extra room to maybe get a clamp out here, or if you upgrade to longer crossbars down the road, you can get something like a load assist kayak carrier, so you don't have to be lifting a kayak all the way up to the top of your very tall roof on the 4Runner. So I feel like it just gives you more functionality in the long run having this type of style. Now this is going to be a very capable roof rack. You've got a 165-pound weight capacity, which for most people I feel like will be more than enough. If you need something a bit more heavy duty, you can go to those square bars. Those have a 220-pound capacity, but I think for most people really 165 is enough to get the job done. You are going to have an aluminum construction, so lifting them up onto your 4Runner is going to be really easy, nice and lightweight, and they'll be corrosion resistant, so we don't have to worry about them rusting away over time. The other nice thing is the integrated weather strip. Now, compared to something like a Rhino rack bar, those are what I have on my car, those weather strips you have to cut and measure if you want to use that T-slot. So you have to basically modify the weather stripping to make it work. With this, all you got to do is take off the end cap, and you can push your T-slot accessory down in the end and just slide it to wherever you want to put it, and the weather stripping will just conform around it. So you don't have to cut anything, you don't have to make modifications, and if you need to move things around and keep your roof rack nice and modular, you can. It's a lot easier to do it with this style of weather stripping. Some things to keep in mind with a roof rack is, of course, you're adding height to your vehicle. When it's empty like this, you're not adding too much. It's only gonna be 4 inches, but once you add accessories on top of that, like a box, be careful with your garage doors, low clearance parking garages, things like that. And as far as space under the bar goes, you've got 3 inches of space from the roof to the bottom of the bar. That's going to be for your clamp around accessories. A lot of those often have hand knobs on the bottom, so you got to get your hand in there to tighten that knob. Just keep that in mind. 3 inches should be more than enough, and it'll give you plenty of room to work. When looking at roof racks, you might see another measurement for crossbar spread. Now, since we don't have any sort of fixed mounting points, we just wrap around the raised rails like this, you can make it whatever you need. So if you have an accessory that has a specific required crossbar spread, you can set these there as long as it's within the length of your raised rails. Now the feet do lock, so you don't have to worry about anyone taking your roof rack while it's on your vehicle, but the flip side to that is if you're using T-slot accessories or clamp around accessories, you're gonna need some other method of locking them. Some roof racks will have a locking end cap, but these do not. So someone in theory could just take your rooftop accessory, slide it out of the T-track there, and take that. So just keep that in mind with whatever you put up here, and you shouldn't have to worry about at least the towers. And one of my favorite things about the roof rack is how easy it is to install. So let's check that out now. Getting started, we're gonna take our crossbar and flip it upside down here. Now on each end, we're going to have this channel. In that channel, there's a piece that will be sliding. We can push this button on it and slide it inward like that. It's gonna reveal an opening that will match up with the slots here on our foot. We want the knob right here facing the outside of the crossbar, and then once it's in place, just slide it over. Now with both sides in like this, we can take it up to the roof. So up on the roof, we want these bands to be open, and we want the thicker portion of our bar to be facing forward. Now I like to have this door open here so I can step up into there and do this a bit easier. So I'm gonna try to get the band on the opposite side to wrap around the raised rail. Easier said than done sometimes, but we've got it in there now. You can step down and do the same thing on this side. Just getting things loosely in place right now. Right about there, and I can go ahead and take some measurements now. What we want to do is measure from the center of one crossbar to the center of the other on both sides. Basically, we want that measurement to match to ensure that these bars are running parallel to each other. And with that adjustment there, we are looking good. So our crossbar spread is nice and even. And if you want to, you can also measure out the overhang of your bars to make sure that that's even too. Sometimes I like to just eyeball it because it doesn't really matter, but right about there looks pretty good. And we can start to get these bars secure. We can do that by taking that band with these studs and locking them into the jaws right there. So they'll kind of sit in place there, and then we can twist the knob to tighten that band, pulling the roof rack tight to the raised rails. Once we're happy with it, we can fold that down and get our cover. And the cover will just slide on like this, twist that lock, and you're good to go. And that'll do it for our look at the Inno Roof Rack kit for raised rails here on our 2021 Toyota 4Runner.